This is Francois Tennessee with Royal Realty Group, brokered by eXp. The market's really crazy these days. You're going to need someone you can trust to help you with buying, selling, and finding investment properties. Feel free to give me a call, 214-704-4749, and also follow us on all social media platforms at Royal Realty Group TX. Now enjoy the show with Cuff and Mo.
MJ, I have got to say this. And I'm curious, has anyone ever said that you look like Regina Hall or sound like Regina Hall? Because I just see it through and through.
That is so funny. Yes, I have. I've received that. I call it a compliment. I've received that compliment a whole lot. Now, I don't see it when I look at myself because I see something a little different than what y'all see. But I mean, I accept it as a compliment because Regina Hall is not only funny as fuck, but she's beautiful
Yes.
inside and out. And yeah, I take it as a compliment. But yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah,
I
you,
get
you
that a lot.
absolutely, and even the laugh, Mo, is it just me?
No, it's not. I say you
Okay, cool.
lean into it, MJ.
I
Just
think
lean
it's,
into it and own it.
I think it's just y'all. Y'all crazy.
No. Listen, first and foremost, want to wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day. Live and in the lab, we got a very, very special guest. Yo, Mo, who do we have on the show today?
Cuff, today's guest is a native of St. Louis, Missouri. She is the director of consumer engagement and development for 85 Cigars. Please welcome this year's Valentine, Marissa MJ Morton, to the Vision Lab podcast.
Hey, y'all.
What up, what up, what up? And a beautiful happy Valentine's Day to you, Marissa.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Probably the only happy Valentine's Day I'm going to get today. But
No, I'm sure you're
just
going to have 16 big ass bears and balloons and bunch
Roses
of
and all
cigars,
kinds of
roses and all that dropped off at your door. You just being humble. We know what time it is. We ain't trying to get you in trouble though.
yeah, well then, pipe down
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit. I'm just messing with y'all. What's up?
Well, like Cuff said, we're so happy we could make this happen. Obviously we've been back and forth and talking for a long time, and we appreciate you making the time for us. My first real question is, what does a regular work day look for Marissa MJ Morton of 85 Cigars?
Oh my goodness. It could be there is no regular work day working for this brand. There is no there is no regular work day. Any day could it could be either a whole team powwow where we all jump on, work out some things, maybe deal with some unexpected issues or maybe some unexpected project or event that pops up. Or shoot, one day it could be like, hey, we all need to be down in Miami pronto. Your tickets, check your emails for your tickets, and we need you on the plane. It just depends. There's no regular. I can't even describe a regular day. It's exciting. As a matter of fact, it's exciting.
How did you get involved with 85 Cigars?
That is a very good question. No one has ever asked me this question. Have you all ever seen the meme going around social media that says there's someone speaking your name in rooms that you haven't even entered yet?
No.
No, but I feel like I'm living like that every day.
Yeah. Facts.
Well,
Factuals.
Yeah, there was this meme that says that, and my situation with 85 Cigars was like that meme come to life. Someone actually spoke me up, and I'll shout him out. His name is DJ Taiwan, right here in Washington, D.C., in the DMV area. He kept speaking my name up to some people that worked with 85 Cigars, kept speaking my name up, and they finally reached out to me. One of the people reached out to me, said, "Hey, we've heard about, oh, because I had the Privy Leaf Cigar Concierge prior to 85 Cigars. Hey, we heard about your business. We need a cigar concierge for an event. Would you be available?" I said, "Sure, of course, the business." And I said, "Hey,
Absolutely.
what's the cigar brand?" It said, "Oh, it's 85 Cigars by Ocho Cinco." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, yeah, I gotta play it cool. But on the inside, I'm like jumping up and down because I actually reached out to 85 Cigars when they first launched to say, "Hey, I'd love to work with the brand. How can I get your cigars? Whatever, whatever." But they're busy. They didn't get back to me right away. But I feel like it was God has whatever your plan is, God has something else. He got something in mind. So yeah, DJ Taiwan spoke my name up to some people affiliated with 85 Cigars. And then we end up linking up for an event with a golf event that was phenomenal. And that was just synergy. Our first event together, it was like what my what our colleague Maurice used to call us. What's it called? Voltron, with all the different pieces that come together that make.
Yeah.
Yep.
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 That's exactly what we were. It was just this great synergy. We were all on the same page, and we all wanted to see the brand do well, whether I was working directly with 85 or just working in collaboration with them. And as we continue to work together on different things, different events and stuff, we realized like, hey, this is a great team. Like, we work very, very well together. And then they brought me on to work permanently. So yeah, it was kind of a fairy tale the way it all started.
Let me ask you this, because you said something about, telling God your dreams or whatever. And they always say, like, if you want to make God laugh, tell me your plans. You know what I mean? So when you had your business, right? What was the transition like from, being an entrepreneur, working for yourself, doing your own thing, to now transitioning and working for a specific brand?
Oh, wow. You know what? It was an acute transition, but it wasn't a difficult transition. So when I first started my business within the cigar industry, the Privy Leaf Cigar Concierge, I was a deer in headlights. I didn't know what I was doing. I actually was taking the experience, the practical experience that I learned working for professional sports and entertainment, and then translating it to, okay, I love cigars. I know something about cigars. I know this much about service, high-end client services and high-end hospitality. How can I marry all of these things and, pursue this business? So that's where I was. And by the time I transitioned, I transitioned over to working directly for 85 Cigars, I had all of this, hospitality, all of the cigar event experience under my belt. So it was an abrupt, like an acute transition, but it wasn't difficult. So I pretty much still do exactly what I was doing for my own business. I just do it for 85 Cigars, plus a little extra they done thrown in there for me. So it wasn't difficult.
When did you know it was real and like, you know what, this is going to work, like this is going to stick? Because like you said, you went from running your own business and now you're like, oh, I work for like a real live company for real, with somebody who got a big name
Yeah.
behind it. Like sometimes that scares people, but when did you know this is okay, this is my fit, this is what it's going to be?
Whew, that first event that we worked, I will say this, I get nervous about a lot of things. I get anxious about a lot of things, but with this particular endeavor, I never got anxious. I never got like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Am I doing the right thing? I never second guessed it. And that's what fueled it. I'm like, this is supposed to happen. I think this is one of those things that's supposed to happen. And it was that very first event that we did together. It was My Brothers Birdies. It was for the My Brothers Keeper Alliance and Potomac, the Obama initiative. And so it was their inaugural my brother's birthday event. Obama was supposed to be there and all that, but no, he didn't show up. But it was that very first event. And just the way we all worked together, the way like I said, all these different parts came together, and it was just this synergy. So I knew from that very, very first event that we worked together that we would be able to work really, really well together. And then it was after we were tapped to do the cigar VIP lounges they are called the Washington Commanders now. I have to be.
Oh my goodness! Don't even get me started on that.
And that Matchbox Stadium.
Yeah.
So we were tapped to do the VIP cigar lounges for the Washington Commanders. And that's when it was solidified. It was like, wow, we work really, really well together. And I mean, we were able to get, how you bring a team together and things just flow. And you have some snags and some hiccups, but that didn't quite happen with us in the very beginning. And I was like, yeah, I can work with them. This is good. This is going to be really good. It was seeing everything in motion. It was one thing doing the My Brother's Birdies event. That was something that was right up my alley. But doing the Washington Commanders FedEx Field VIP thing, it was up my alley, but it wasn't. It could, because they have different ways of doing it. When I realized we could execute this event even with the hiccups and the snags that we had without everybody like going crazy, and then we just made it happen, and it was dope. I was like, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I belong.
So you're in stride. You guys are all lockstep. The intricacies of building a brand, because you know what that's like from doing your own thing to now working with a widely known brand. But what does that look like in terms of actually brand building?
Oh my goodness. How much time do you have?
As much as you need.
Oh my goodness. She said, what does that look like? Building a brand? Building my brand? I'm sorry.
Building 85.
Your brand and 85 Cigars.
Oh my goodness. Well, I can say for 85 Cigars, I cannot take credit for actually building the brand. There was an original team in place 2 years prior to me joining the team. So they were the ones who they birthed the brand, and then they were building it. And then I came in and, put a lot of it on my back and helped them to continue that. But I would say
you can go ahead and say it. You can go ahead and say it. I blew that thing up.
I did. I'm not gonna even lie. I did. But yeah, I will say this. It's different when you do have to work with a team of people. So when it was just my business, and this is one thing that I do appreciate. I don't think I've ever even thought about it or said it out loud, but with my business, I was very cautious. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it like this, and I'm gonna do it like this. And I had all this control. When you're building a brand with a team, it's not just you. So you have all these different perspectives, these different opinions and things like that. So I had to learn to not to relinquish a lot of control, that I'm not gonna always agree with my teammates, and that's okay. That's okay. But for me, helping to build the 85 brand wasn't difficult. I was so passionate, and I'm still so very passionate about it. I saw something special with them the very first time I started working with them. And I was like, look, I'm going to see this through. I know what the brand is capable of. I know what we can do. Let's do this shit. Let's get this going. Let's get this, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't difficult for me, but I will say let me see. The only difficult thing I will say is relinquishing the control.
Okay. 85 obviously has Ocho Cinco in it, right? So we get it. Worldwide name, very entertaining public figure, very boisterous, very flamboyant, very charismatic. But when you talk about the brand itself, the cigars, the brand, What is it that makes that so special that made you say, yo, besides, the collaboration with the team, but what is it about the brand itself that made you say, yo, this is it, this is worth it?
It was the team. It was the
Okay.
team. The team did what they were. And this is something that I absolutely want to clear up, because the people think that, some people, I've heard this, that, oh, they just approach Chad, hey, Chad, you want a cigar? Okay, we're going to go and grab a bunch of cigars from somewhere, some bundled brands. We're going to slap something together that say 85, make it look cool, and put it out there. The special thing about the 85 team is not everybody on the team they're cigar people now, but they weren't initially cigar people. They became cigar people. They took the time to learn. They didn't just let somebody ship them 5,000 bundles, 5,000 count of cigars and say, here's, put a band on it and y'all figure it out. They said, no, we're going to go down. We taking Chad too. You get your butt up. We going down to the Dominican Republic. We're going to do this right. So they actually took the time to learn, to understand the culture, to understand traditions, to touch the leaves, to smell it, to see where it comes from. I mean, the manufacturers, going to box makers and looking at all these different, checking out all the different boxes. Chad chose his own boxes. That's why the original Boa Vita box is black. He chose that. The iconic gold box, he chose that. The blends, everything they put their hands on, they said, okay, educate. If we don't know, teach us. So I appreciated that about the team. And once and what they didn't know, they said it. Hey, I don't know this. Can you show us? Can you teach us? And that's what I thought was so special about the team. And it was easy to come on board once I saw that. Because I mean, at that point, I was associating my name with them. It wasn't just, hey, I really want to work for 85 Cigars and I'm coming off the street. No, I had already built up a reputation for myself with the Privy Leaf Cigar Concierge. So I was attaching my name to them just as much as they were attaching their name to me. So it was the team and their dedication and their passion for what they were doing that let me know that I was making the right decision.
I love
And
that.
that was letting me know how special it was. I said, this is special. They're really doing this the right way. So let me get on board.
It's one of those things to where the underlying theme of it is the team and the people, and it's the all parts working together. One of the people and teams that has supported us from Jump Street has been Edwina Brown and the family at Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. Visionaries, if you're anywhere in the southern part of DFW, make sure you get to Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. The address is 1604 North I-35 in Lancaster, Texas. Great humidor, great staff. We promise you won't be disappointed. MJ, if we ever get you to Dallas, we will make sure we take you to Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge. EB, thank you for all your support. You guys make sure you get to Blowing Smoke Cigar Lounge.
And not if, but when you get down here to Dallas, because we definitely got to link up, and smoke some good six. And I'm looking forward to getting on the 85 cigar.
Oh, sure thing. And you all were supposed to have cigars. I'm not gonna say why they didn't make it, but you all were supposed to have cigars tonight, but they are coming. I promise you, they're on the way.
We're
Much
looking forward
appreciated.
to it. Yeah.
So I'm gonna switch gears. I got you, partner. I'm gonna switch gears, MJ. So this is the Vision Lab, right? And like Cuff said earlier, our listeners, we call them visionaries. When I say the word vision, what comes to Marissa's mind?
Vision. Man, it's vision. I would say vision. It's what you see for yourself. Vision. It's seeing outside of what you see for yourself. It's like, it's seeing everything that's around you, and then not necessarily seeing gaps, but seeing spaces that you can feel. That's what vision looks like for me. I could say for myself, even with developing coming up with my first business, the Privy Leaf Cigar Concierge, I was like, I looked at the industry and I said, hey, this is what I see that's there. How can I fit into this space and make it my own? and make those spaces my own. So when you say vision, I think about immediately what comes to mind is seeing what's in front of seeing outside what's in front of you, and then seeing spaces that you can feel and make your own. Does that make
Uh,
sense?
no, it does, and I love it. And I'm curious, did you see yourself where you are today?
Absolutely not.
What has that
Absolutely
been like?
not.
The manifestation or the realization that, yo, I'm here working for, a very popular brand, and I've really helped grow the brand itself.
Well, you know what? It blows my mind every single time I think about it. I started my first business back in St. Louis. I had bought a $70 little work table from Walmart. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to have a few private clients. I'm going to do a few cigar events. And I was okay with that. That was my vision at that point in time. That was like, but I'm gonna do something a little different. I don't know if you all are familiar with this, but I, s- it wasn't what I was supposed to lead with, but it ended up being what I led with. Was the cigars with the metal bands on them. I had all these really unique metal bands that I would customize for my private clients for their private events. But that's what caught on first. And, I had a cigar with lion head on it and all this stuff. So that caught on first, and I cut my teeth down in Atlanta. So my vision for myself, it started with just wanting a few private clients, do a few cigar events, and see how I feel about it. But then Atlanta got a hold of me, and y'all know how Atlanta is. um,
Already, yeah.
yeah, somebody said the biggest lesson you could ever learn is Atlanta, and they were absolutely right. So I got a lot of traction in Atlanta, and then my vision expanded. It was like, oh wow, I can go to different places and do this. But then it got to a point where when I started working with 85 Cigars, then it became beyond my wildest dreams. Not once sitting at that $70 Walmart table back in St. Louis did I ever think I'd be at the Super Bowl or working with Chad. Like, I mean, I'm not, starstruck or anything like that, but Chad is a really dope guy. Never in my wildest dreams. Never. And it blows my mind every single time I think about it. Like, wow, I really was sitting at that table in St. Louis, like, well, I guess I'll do this. I was like, wow. And I thought it was the biggest, best thing. Like, wow, this is going to be so much fun. Not knowing that something absolutely amazing was manifesting, was coming into, was working, coming out. It blows my mind.
Well, let me ask you this, MJ. You had a lot of success, and clearly you were on the right path. But at some point, you like you said, you had to put some sweat equity into it. What's been your lowest point in this climb that you've made?
Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Which one? You said the lowest? The lowest. Oh wow. Because there's been a
What
lot
what
of
what's
times.
what, what's that point in time where you had to like take a look in the mirror and be like, "Whoo, man! Like this right here is really like this is hurting, but I'm gonna keep pushing forward." Where you were really challenged internally.
Oh, this is I can tell you exactly what it was. And this is the situation that made me pivot, which allowed me to be prepared for when 85 came along. So with those customized cigars with the rings on them and everything, that was my calling card. That was my we know who that is. That's the privy leaf. If you were familiar with those cigars, you would know. Well, there was this gentleman, and I'm being nice. There was this gentleman who decided that, hey, I thought I had this idea too. Okay, but did you do? He never executed it though. But he decided that he was gonna execute it anyway. Basically, he jacked he jacked my idea. But I
Ah,
guess somebody got in his ear and said, hey, pretty much everyone knows that Marissa does cigars like this. If you do this without at least reaching out to her, it's gonna be an issue. So he reached out to me after the fact, and I'm thinking he really wanted to collaborate and everything, but he had already made up his mind that he was what he was gonna do. He actually copied it. It was a, I'm not gonna say, because let me keep it clean. But he copied something that is very, it's from me.
Almost
Something
like it
very
was
identified.
trademarked.
It wasn't
Almost like it was a,
trademark, huh?
right. Almost like
Yeah.
it was trademarked.
Yes. 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 It was very identifiable. And so when it happened, I remember I was out and I saw the post, and my heart was broken because it was somebody that was close to me that I thought had my back that helped the guy do it, because they knew the intricacies of how I
Really?
did things. Yes, they helped him do it. And my heart was broken because I looked at this person as like a like, wow, I called this person a family, like family, and they helped him do it, even, and my heart was completely broken. And then one of my friends, he wasn't a really good friend. This guy I was talking to, I was at the bar drinking my sorrows. Like, I can't believe, he was like, let me tell you this. Once you have an idea, and especially if it's a dope ass idea, once you put it out there, somebody's going to try to take it. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to sit up here and wallow in this shit, or you don't get up and figure this out? I was like, but I don't know what to do. He was like, look, you've been doing this for, at that point, almost 3 years. You can figure it out. But that was the lowest moment. I wanted to quit. I wanted to be like, no, forget this, because people snakes, they stealing, they don't have any creativity. I'm not about to fight people along the way. But then I realized if I really wanted this, I was gonna have to fight people, or
I
I was
want,
gonna have to choose my battles.
yeah.
But
I
that was
want to,
the time that I
I want to go
pivoted.
back. I want to go back to where you said it was almost like the dude that kind of helped the other guy get it going, right? Was someone that you were really close with. There are
Yeah.
people that are dealing with struggles or battles where it's loved ones that are hurting them, right? And not that you're a life coach or anything like that, but just from personal experience, like how would you walk somebody through deceit, or someone that's turned their back on you when you thought that they were your closest, whether that's a family member or a really, really close friend? Like, how do they work through that?
Oh man, I can only speak for myself, but I know I took some time before I did not blow up. I did express my hurt initially. I did, but took some time not to lash out, because when you're overly emotional and you're lashing out like that, you can make a lot of mistakes and you can set yourself back even further. So that was one thing I did. I communicated my hurt, but then I fell back. And I actually sat with it. I sat with the disappointment, the hurt, the betrayal is what I call it. Yeah, I'm being a little dramatic. I sat with it, and that's what helped me to pivot. I said, okay, so, and once I got to a point where, and it took a while. I'm not gonna even lie. It took a while because my heart was truly broken. So I would say to not get overly emotional, even if you want to cuss and holler and do all that stuff. Like,
Don't let that St. Louis come out you.
do not do that. Don't do that, because when things like that, people do stuff like that, that's more of a reflection on them than you. And a calmer mind, a calmer spirit can make better decisions. So my advice would be to just, you can communicate your hurt and your disappointment, but don't lash out. Don't get overly emotional, and give yourself time, real time, to sit with that and process that hurt, that disappointment. I Yeah, that's all I can say, because it
I
depending
want to
on
make
who
sure I
you
heard
are.
that. I want to
Huh?
make sure I heard that correctly. You said a calmer mind and a calmer spirit makes better decisions. Is that what I heard?
Yeah. Yes.
That was sage advice. And what I love about it is it wasn't a knee jerk reaction. You were calculated, right, and how
Very.
you approached it. But check this out. You had it something greater because of that trial or tribulation or that deceit or betrayal, right? And what was that process like when you realized that, oh, I'm really coming into my own and I can pivot and come up with new creative, innovative ideas?
Man, that process was like, okay, so that happened in when when I took my friend's advice who said, if you have something dope, you have a dope idea, once you put it out there, someone's going to take it. So you better be ready for your next move. You got to be ready with your next chess move. So that's what I did. What I did after that was when I fell back and I was, just processing all that stuff. As I did start to think of ways of how can I pivot? Which way can I go now? I can't go this, I can't quite go this way anymore. So I doubled down on my strengths, and my strengths were hospitality. I know how to do events. I know how to do private cigar events. I know how to do this. So I doubled down on that, and just working for private clients, and putting together some really dope. And this is something that a lot of people don't know. I was able to put together some really dope cigar bar ideas, and cigar lounge ideas for my private clients. So I kind of threw myself into that. And that is ultimately what helped me become prepared to work for 85 Cigars. So yeah, that's how I dealt with it.
What I love about this, MJ, is that everybody goes through some type of shit at some point, right?
Mhm.
And you got into your lab, and that's why we created this show, right? For people to go back, in the midnight hour, as they say in church, right, and figure it out. Anthony Trucks was on our show. He talked about being in a corner in his basement and crying. Obviously, you kind of wallow for a little bit, but it's in those moments that we become stronger if we have enough mental bandwidth to just deal with it and then process it and then get to work. And that's what you did. So I commend you. I think that's what a lot of visionaries need to understand, is that no matter what you're going through, give yourself a moment to deal with it, and then dust yourself off, get into your lab, pen to pad, whatever your ideas are, and work the ideas. And if you continue to work at it, things will manifest, things will become better.
Yes.
Things will actually blossom and you'll be like MJ, right? Where you don't know what's around the corner. I think it's an amazing story.
Yeah, I mean, I had my moments where I was crying and I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I just want to quit. I can't believe this. I went through all that, and then I did have my redeeming moments. Don't think I let them slide.
Yeah.
They heard my mouth when I got to a point where I could articulate how I felt without it being, too over the top. I did exactly that. But yeah, I had my moments where I was crying and trying to figure, like, what am I supposed to do? But it ultimately led me to, honing more of the skills that I knew I already had, like I said, doubling down, and it prepared me for the next level. I was like, you know what, and I always ask myself, if that didn't happen, what would I have done?
Yes, that's
And I look
exactly where
at
I
it
was going.
like,
Because
what, you helped me out. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
100%. And that's what it's about, right? Like, in that moment, in that season, you were being stretched. You were growing out of
Yes.
pain. And there's so much growth that can be, if pain is leveraged right, growth can take place and you can become so much better. And I think a lot of times people come in the midst of a pain or a hurt, and they fold, right? But if you're willing to reevaluate, get in your lab, and stretch yourself and grow and pivot, you know, I think a lot of great things can happen out of that. So I think it's, like I said, I wanted to spend a little bit of time on that. For any visionary that's out there that may be going through it in this particular season, just understand it is just a season. You know, sharpen your sword, have some metal, and figure it out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, just from the very beginning of, if I start to go into my story from the very beginning, oh my goodness. When I tell you my story really is it's a journey. Do not give up. I even did a YouTube well, I posted a video on YouTube about this journey because I used to, chronicle it quite often, like frequently. But it was during a time where I said, you know what, it's something that firmly and calm and in a calm way tells me, I don't know what calmly is, but in a calm way tells me, don't quit, don't give up, keep going, keep going. And I said, I know they talk about the voice of God, they talk about spirit, they talk about the universe, whatever you want to call it. But whatever it was, told me, don't give up, don't stop. And I look back, and if I would have stopped at the points that I really wanted to, goodness gracious, I I would never have, I wouldn't have never been able to see the goodness that was in store for me. So, but my
Well,
story, it starts way before this. So, and it's a real one.
well, speaking of goodness, we see these cool Instagram pictures and videos of you being at these super cool looking photo shoots. You always got the cool cocktail glass. I like the pineapple one is my favorite. But
Uh-huh.
can you kind of paint the picture for us and kind of give us what it's like to actually be on some of those events that we see you chronicle on Instagram from time to time?
Oh, the events and the photo shoots that we do.
It look pretty lively.
Yeah, yeah, I will say the events that the events that we are invited to be a part of are amazing. Like, it's so dope. I can't even explain it. It's like, um it's a lot of work, first of all. Let me say that first of all. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff that don't go the way they're supposed to, and then we have to figure it out. So there's a lot of that that's going on. But once it comes together like Voltron, it's like magic. You got all these different personalities, public figures walking around and things like that. And I think the most exciting part about being a collaborating or working with these different types of events is all the different people that we meet and how excited they are to work with the brand and how they actually want to be educated. There are times we work with people and they're just like, oh, the cigars are here, go put them over here, da 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 da. But most of the events that we work, people want to know about the brand. The models want to know. They want to know about the tobacco. They want to know how to smoke it. They want to know that. It's like they want me to teach them want us to teach them everything about it during the event, which we try to give them something, but we can't. So it's really exciting. And the photo shoots, we don't get to be a part of all of the photo shoots, but most of them we do. The one that we haven't been able to be a part of, which we really would have loved to be a part of, is the one that was out in Australia with Medusa Hire and Versace at the Versace penthouse. That one was phenomenal. We were able to work with not only some very, very, very talented models, but we were able to get in a really dope shoot with the legendary DOC. So me being a hip hopper, that was like that was like my fangirl. I was fangirling out. I was so excited. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really exciting and a lot of fun. A lot of hard work, but a lot of fun. Doing those events and photo shoots.
Well, besides the DOC, because he's from here, so we know
Oh
all about the
yeah.
DOC here. Besides the DOC, and I know you've been around plenty of great events and whatnot, but what's another one that just really, really stuck out? You looked around, you said, you know what, MJ, you're here having cigars with such and such. Like, look how far you've come.
Oh, when we did the Super Bowl, when we did the NFLPA party at the Super Bowl, and I'm lighting Hugh Jackson's cigar. I mean, legend. No, 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 no. That one, and we did the Ultimate Legends mixer at the Hall of Fame. That is where I was like, okay, I think I done did something here. And because my little brother called, he said, "Oh my God, you're surrounded by legends. Do you know where you are? Do you know what you're doing? And I'm like, yeah, okay, yes. But that was when I was like, wow, like this is this. It's levels to this, and it's so much more you can do. Like, limit I come when I'm in those situations, I can't believe my vision was so limited, but I thought it was the best thing ever back then. But yeah, I would say the Ultimate Legends mixer for the NFLPA during Hall of Fame weekend. That was the best.
When you say you can't believe that I would have limited my vision, I want to pivot slightly and hinge on that word, right?
Mm.
What advice would you tell a visionary on the effects or the negative effects by limiting one's vision?
You will absolutely miss out on your purpose. You will miss out on the reason why you did it, why you even started. Because we start things for one reason, but then we find out that it becomes a different reason. And your purpose kind of evolves for doing what you're doing. I started the Privy Leaf, and I started in wanting to be in the cigar industry to save my life, to literally save my own life. And it went from, okay, I just want to do this much, because it looked big to me at the time. I was just trying to get out of a situation that I was in. And if I would have stayed in that space, if I would have told, and I believe it was her aficionado, Octavia, who reposted my stuff. If I would have told her, no, take it down. Don't repost my stuff. I'm not ready for that. I'm not sure if that's what I want. I ain't no telling where I would be. The same thing with it was like a mentor who kept telling me, you can do events. You can do events. You say, no, I'm not an event person. I only want to do this. I only want to do it this way. This is the way I see it for myself. No, you could do more. And finally I said, fine, I'll do more. Now I could see myself. Then I could see myself in that space. And I was actually really good at doing bigger events, which in the long run, like I said, prepared me to work for 85 Cigars. But if you limit your vision, you limit how far you're gonna go. You limit yourself. You miss out on not only your purpose evolving, but seeing that purpose through, like seeing why you were really supposed to be there and what you're supposed to see and what you're supposed to experience. You really miss out.
Well, let me tell you something, MJ. This has been great. We appreciate you making this happen. Partner,
Yes.
have we reached that part of the interview yet?
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness.
We told you it was gonna be nice and easy. No. We told you it was gonna be easy. You've been great. You've been great. It is time to land the plane though. So you are familiar with the show. There are 5 seats at a round table, plus yourself. You get to have anybody at the table. The only stipulation or caveat, if you will, is that you can't have, whatever religious entity you believe in. But outside of that, who are the 5 people you want at your table?
So it's me and 5 other people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first person would be my granddad, because my granddad, when you talk about visionary, he was a visionary. He was a visionary. I know he planted those seeds in me. He's a very well-known figure back in St. Louis. His name is Hubert Dickey Valentine. And he founded the Matthew Dickey's Boys and Girls Club of St. Louis. Dope human being. And he taught me a lot of what I know. So my granddad, the first person, Tupac, only because, and I know it sounds a little cliche, but Tupac, because he's one of he's not in my top 5 MCs, but he's one of my favorite rappers. Let's see, who else? Tupac, my granddad, Tupac, my daddy. I would definitely bring him back for the humor's sake. My daddy was one of the funniest people you could ever meet. He was hilarious. So my dad, who else? Let's see, that's 3, 2 other people.
You got 2 left.
2 other people. Nina Simone.
Ooh,
Nina
that's a
Simone,
good
because unapologetically herself. Just, man, she was just a force. And let me make it interesting. Dave Chappelle.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a hell of a table.
Ooh,
That is a very, very eclectic table.
Yeah.
Hold on, she said something. Hold on, she said something, and I don't want anybody to get on us. You said Tupac's not in your top 5, so you got to go ahead and get it.
Well, Tupac is not in my top 5. I listened to Tupac growing up. I was raised on Tupac, high school and stuff. But my top 5 MCs, oh goodness, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Kweli, Fonte from Little Brother, and Jean Grey. Top 5 MCs.
I can ride with that.
Can't be mad at that.
I can ride
can't be
with
mad
that.
at that at all.
Yeah.
I can ride with
Look,
that.
I feel like y'all want to kind of
No. I'm a Kweli fan, like for real. Like I love Talib, so I think he's dope.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pivot, but before we do, I want to give you the opportunity to shout out your social media handles. If anybody is interested in 85 Cigars, what they can do to get in contact with you or the company itself.
Oh, sure thing. So if you want to hit me up or you want to just, see what I'm up to and get all of my business, my Instagram is MJ at 85. Same thing for Twitter, MJ. What is it? MJ at 5. That's what it has on Twitter, MJ at 5. If you want to order cigars or you want to see what's up with us, you can go to 85cigars.com. That's spelled out 80 and then the number 5.com. Our our Instagram is at 85 Cigars. So you can come and check us out and see what we up to.
Absolutely. So, in the spirit of hip hop, who represents MJ as a hip hop artist?
Oh my goodness. Okay, who
Yeah, we want to test that knowledge.
yeah, I would say who resonates with me? Well, it's like a couple of people.
Only
It's
one.
like it's a couple of people. I'll name two, and I know it's probably gonna surprise. It may surprise y'all, but it's definitely Tupac and Bun B.
Bun B surprises me. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Bun motherfucking B. I love me
uh,
some Bun B. So
yeah.
yeah.
All right. So, what is the long-term vision for one Marissa MJ Morton?
The long-term vision, I would say, first of all, for my name to be synonymous with cigar smoking in the DMV area. When people come around, and it not just the DMV area, everywhere. So when people talk about cigars and creativity and innovation and leveling up and pivoting and figuring this shit out in this industry, because it's levels and it's layers. I want my name to be synonymous with that. I want to be, you know, women cigar smokers and women in general are becoming fierce figures in this industry. I want to be a part of that. But my long-term vision is to, continue to work with the brand and help the brand become one of the leading boutique brand, like some, built this scale up. So yeah, that's where I am right now, just to become a name synonymous with cigar smoking, a good cigar smoking, you
I
know.
love that. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. All right. So, in case you didn't know, we have a magical time machine here in the Vision Lab. Okay. What advice would Marissa be giving herself from 5 years ago?
Oh wow, 5 years ago, that I would give myself, Marissa from 5 years ago.
Yeah. So you today telling yourself from 5 years ago.
Now y'all really want me to cry in this interview?
Hey, we just asked the
Oh
question.
my
The people want to
God.
know. The visionaries want to know. Fans of MJ want to know.
Um, it's it's gonna be scary. It's gonna feel like you're gonna ask yourself a million times before you actually do it. You're gonna ask yourself a million times, should I be doing this? Is this what I do? But something is gonna force you to make the decision. And I'm just gonna say, do not stop. Maybe don't keep going. Maybe I'm my voice that talked to me 5 years ago. Don't stop. Keep going. I know that's all I can say. Don't stop. Please don't stop. Keep going. You're gonna get to the other side. The things that you deal with that you feel are trying to break you or take from you or diminish you, they won't win. They won't prosper. Just keep going. Whatever you thinking in your head right now, it's okay to feel that way because it's scary, but it's gonna pass. You're gonna be okay. And I just need you to keep going. That's the advice I would give myself.
I love it. Now, forgive us, but we're going to make you 5 years older. Okay. What is the older version of MJ? What advice is she giving you today? She's looking back from the future to you today and telling you what?
Wow. that the times where you feel like nothing is happening, so much is happening. You just don't realize it. So don't get discouraged. And I know that sounds very cliche, but don't get discouraged. It's okay to have valleys. They're there for a reason. You know, take those valleys, those times where it seems like nothing is happening. Take that time to take time. You don't always have to go, go, go. Something doesn't always have to be happening. Sometimes when those valleys happen and that downtime happens, take some of that time and rest in what you've accomplished. It's okay to do that. Rest in what you've accomplished and know that something else is coming. Just give it time. You're not doing anything wrong. Just give it time. And you're gonna get that energy back up underneath you. But don't quit.
That was dope. I can actually see you looking back 5 years ago and talking to yourself and then looking from the future what that future version of MJ looks like. So I felt that energy. I really did. Last question I have to ask, and we should have asked this a long time ago. What does MJ stand for?
Oh, Marissa Joe.
Okay.
Marissa Joe. Yeah. And it's so funny, my middle name, I grew up thinking my middle name was Joy. My mother kept telling, oh, it's Marissa Joy. It's on all my little documents until I got my real birth certificate. My middle name is Joe. And I said, why did you tell me that? I like that so much better. It fits me better. Marissa Joe, that's my name, but that's what it stands for.
All right. All right. Well, I want to say to you, Marissa Joe, MJ, thank you so much for jumping into the lab with us. And I hope everyone has a beautiful and happy Valentine's Day. Remember, each one of our guests that are jumping into the lab are dropping nuggets of wisdom here on the Trail of Life. Ultimately, it's up to you to pick them up.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Mosley. He is Ryan Cuffey. The voice you've been listening to, the beautiful face you've been looking at for the past 45 minutes or an hour or so is Marissa MJ Morton of 85 Cigars. Marissa, thank you again for making this happen. We appreciate you giving us some time. And Visionaries, we'll see you guys next week on another great episode of the Vision Lab Podcast.
Blessings.